now know the 24 teams that make up the 2021-2022 League One campaign as Morecambe join the band of merry men for next season. Who do you think will go up and who do you think will go down in your early door picks? Well, I'm going to showcase you mine next. Back once again with another prediction video. Today we're doing my early door predictions for the 2021-2022 League One campaign, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, where the heck have you been, boys? Smash your subscribe button, keep your bang out today with all things Babinoves related, League One related, world football related all here. And Ruski, that's right, boys and girls, of course. Yes, Morecambe are there. They managed to get over in extra time. Golden goal, that's right, of course. Carlos Mendes Gomez with the important goal, and of course they are celebrating. They've never seen this dizzy heights, I thought. Anything from now on is a Brucey bonus. So, of course, we'll see how they fare, of course, in my 24. But we'll get to that in a minute. Of course, big shout out to the VIPs. They are the Patreons. Thank you for your continued support behind the scenes, of course. So, what we're going to do here, of course, work our way down from the middle all the way down to the bottom of the table, and then, of course, reveal my top half of the table. So, here we go, boys and girls. Here we go. We're going to kick it off right smack down in the middle and work our way down, and, of course, then reveal the top half. So, here we go. What am I going to go with? We're going to go with 13th spot right here right now. It's Jimmy Floyd's boys. That's right, Burton Albion. Of course, tremendous back end to the campaign last time around, finishing ultimately in 16th. Of course, they were tipped to go down at one stage. Of course, strong back end. Of course, a tight defence. And they finished up in 16th. So I do see them progressing on from that. Not a very dizzy sort of heights for them to look forward to next season, but ultimately a much improved campaign. And again, nowhere near the drop, nowhere near the top, but of course happy in mid-table. So into 14th we go now, and it is Gillingham, that's right. Of course, Gillingham also one of the teams that flirted with the playoffs this time around, ultimately falling short of around about, I don't know how many points was it, maybe 8 points, something like that. Not even that much, 7 points in the end, shy of the playoffs. Of course, they've got some goals in them, and of course holding on to the strikers will be key for them moving forward next season. I do think they will be going backwards than forwards, and of course I think their chance to get into the playoffs was last season with the COVID issues, and I think they're going to have more of a struggle campaign, because this League One campaign is going to be nasty. There's so many players, so many teams that can compete for those players, and realistically it's anybody's guess as to who's going to make those top six. But anyway, for me, I have got Gillingham in 14th. Into 15th now, we got one of the promoted sides from League 2. That's right, I think these are my highest ranked promoted sides from last campaign. It's Cheltenham Town. That is right, that's right. Of course, finishing in 15th spot. Of course, they were forever, or the past couple of seasons anyway, competing for promotion, ultimately getting over the line this time around automatically. They've got some really attacking nice players, and of course the management they're going up as champions, I think. If my memory serves me correctly, they did go up as champions, so they'll be going on with a bit of momentum, bit of team spirit, bit of morale, and I think they'll finish comfortably well clear of any relegation spots. So into 15th they go. Into 16th, unfortunately, it'll be Doncaster Rovers. Of course, Darren Moore no longer at the helm. Question marks about the new manager. Is it Richie Wellens? I don't know. I think it might be, and I think it's going to be an initial first season of trying to take a grasp of this division. Of course, they did finish in 14th this time around. There was a time where I did actually tip them to go up automatically last season, but again, they free fell from those top end of the table towards the bottom once they lost Darren Moore. Of course, Darren Moore is back in this division, so of course we'll see how that match, or the matchups will fare when they lock horns both at the Keepmoor and Hillsborough. But anyway, for me, Doncaster in 16th. Into 17th spot now we have Ackridge and Stanley, and that's right, tremendous fighting spirit on a micro budget, of course, at Ackridge and Stanley. Got some couple of lucrative players, Dean Charles for one of them scoring goals, and now in a Northern Ireland international. Could be sold, which of course would probably take a lot of points off of their campaign. Tremendous 11th place spot for them last time around, of course, with 67 points on the board. Just how many shy? Maybe another 7 points shy of those playoffs, and again just a couple of points shy of 9th. But for me, I think it's, again, if they do lose some of the players, I think Coleman will stick around. Tremendous manager on a micro budget. Staying in this division is key. And again, last time around, just like Gillingham, I think it was their chance to get promoted with no fans around the place. So I think it's going to be another negative Nelly season again. But even if you have a negative season as bad as 16th or 17th, I have them as 17th, they will still prove to be difficult opponents to play against. But ultimately, I think the Crewe will rise to the crop, and of course, Accrington will be more closer to the drop. Into 18th now, we have Crewe Alexandra. Of course, Pickering's gone. They might lose Kirk as well. We have to wait and see about that. And again, an okay season for them, finishing 12th in their first campaign back in League One last time around. Of course, this time around, I think they're going to go backwards again, just like Accrington Stanley, with, of course, the more competitive teams that are now in this division when you consider the three that came down from the Championship, and, of course, some really tricky opponents from League Two as well, and, of course, the playoff losers. So Crewe, I think, a steady Eddie, just another survival season is what's going to be on the cards for them. And again, these are my earlier picks. I'll probably change it around depending on if Kirk stays, depending on if the manager stays. Of course, the managerial merry-go-round will go wrap around, of course, deep into the month of June and July. So for the time being, I'm going to have Crewe at the 18th, but we'll revisit that campaign next time around. Now, of course, into 19th, we have Plymouth Argyle. Of course, they finished it in 18th last time around. Of course, they're going to go back a spot this time around. So pretty much as you were, really, no major changes for them. And again, at this level, I think they'll be happy with that, just sticking in the division. So I don't see two major concerns for them. Of course, they were, like Crewe, promoted a couple of seasons back, and again, for however long they can stay in this division, treading water is good as long as they can maybe find the resources to maybe kick on a season later. So for this season, another season of transition, not too much going on, but we'll see about that. Into 20th spot is another promoted team, that is Cambridge United. That's right, they will just about survive. That's right, of course, coming into this second from League Two, and of course clicking on for dear life. Again, dizzy heights for these guys, and of course I'm looking forward to seeing them at this level. It's going to be some very interesting matches here. Of course, Cambridge up against Oxford. Of course, we've got the university clashes there, so that'll be exciting to look forward to. And again, just to hanging on for them, I think they'll take that all day long. First season in this division, hanging on for dear life. Yes, it might not be pretty, it might not be effective, but guess what? If they hang on by goal difference at the end of the season, they'll take it all day long. Bit of a surprise here now, coming into 21st spot. I've got Fleetwood Town. They are going to go down, finishing in 15th right now. It's not been the same since Barton left. Now Simon Grayson is here. He will start the season. I think he will start okay, 12th or something like that. But of course, the board or some people will not see that as any improvement, and they might make a decision to get rid of Grayson, or it might just go off the edge of a cliff and they'll sink like a stone into 21st spot. So I do see them going down. That's right. Of course, they've done on the books there as assistant manager. Doesn't really help anything, to be fair. And it's just going to be a woeful, miserable season for Fleetwood, going down into League Two for the first time in a few years, quite a few years as well. So unfortunately, not a good season for them. In the 22nd spot, we have, of course, Wimbledon, of course, finishing in 19th last time around with 51 points. What were they? A good 6 points clear of the relegation zone last time around. Maybe not even that. 4 points clear of the relegation spots. Of course, 4 go down. So I do see them having a struggle. They did play some really good football at the back end of the season under new management. I just think they're going to struggle this time around. I think they're going to get sucked into it. They've been, of course, regular strugglers over the past 5 or 6 seasons. I don't even know how long they've been in this division, but since we've been in there back in 2017, they were struggling. So it's been a while. They flattered to see, was on the flip side, the other half, or the other variant of the Dons, of course, MK Dons, seem to be just about they're grinding out some performances. We'll talk more about them in a minute. But yeah, Wimbledon, I think they're going to go backwards on this one. Again, they just lost Piggott, a lot of goals in him, going elsewhere. So yeah, big loss for them. Big loss for Wimbledon. I see them getting sucked into the relegation mire, unfortunately. 22nd spot for them. Into 23rd is the third promoted, or the fourth promoted side. It is, of course, Morecambe. Yes, they've got a tremendous rise. Them being in this division right here, right now, is absolutely balmy. It's just like when Wycombe win the championship. You didn't expect it. You never thunked it, really. But I will take it all day long, and I'm going to I hope to be proven wrong on this one, and hopefully I will be proven wrong. The key for them is, of course, keeping Derek Adams. Tremendous man management. I think he might get lured elsewhere. His stock is incredibly high. I would take him at Rovers right now. I would take him at Rovers any day long. That won't happen, of course. Mowbray's going to be here, and he's going to be doing a job for the boys at Ewood Park next season. But what's going to happen with Morecambe? Will they keep Derek Adams at this level? Will he get lured by money to Bradford? I think they were looking at him. A lot of clubs will look at him as of course, a mastermind, Paul Daniels magician sort of guy. Gets the best out of dead. These guys were regulars for relegation to the National League. But goodness gracious me, they've done the unthinkable. But I think they're going to get caught out this round into 23rd, but will go straight back down. In the 24th spot now we have Shrewsbury Town. That's right. Cotterill's boys. Yeah, they could prove me wrong. They had a strong back end to the last season-ish. However, the last 5 games were a bit woeful. 17th in the end. Quite considerable distance from that relegation spots, but I think they will be sucked into it. A lot of question marks about the players that are coming in. Some Rovers players have been linked with Chapman, maybe going back, of course, Elliot Bennett as well. But unfortunately, I don't think, even with those signings, they will get much out of it. It's going to be tight at that bottom of the table with, of course, some hungry teams coming up from League Two, and of course some teams that are struggling as well. So I do think Shrewsbury will be one of those teams that struggle. So go from 17th all the way down to 24th. Unfortunately, that's doomsday. Into the top half we go now, and I'm going to go with Rotherham and 12th. That's right. Coming, of course, from the Championship back down. Of course, a bit of a yo-yo side. I think they will not. There will be a half a yo-yo this time around. They won't be making the trip straight back up, because the top end of this table next season is absolutely insanely jam-packed. Again, it could be similar to this season, where, of course, it's anybody's guess as to who will get promoted into, or at least get to the playoffs until the last 2 or 3 games of the season. I think Rotherham will be in that category into 12th spot. I think they're going to be losing some key players as well, and I just feel that to make it successive promotion relegations is quite rare, and I just think that they won't get it done this time around. So unfortunately, I think Rotherham will be down into 12th, and they'll miss out on the playoffs. Unfortunately, into 11th, it will be the player finalist. That's right, Lincoln. That's right. It's so tight in the old top half of the table. Of course, Lincoln did finish in 5th, 3 points of safety into those playoff spots. But yeah, I think it's going to be a bit of a backward step. Of course, Appleton's stock is high. I think he could get lured as well elsewhere in the managerial merry-go-round, but I think he will stay with Lincoln. I think it's going to be a job not done. I think he wants to get them over the line, and I think it's going to be it's quite sad for me to stick them into 11th. I do feel a little bit guilty in doing so. And again, these are my early door picks. I'll see what the situation, staff-wise, player-wise, looks like, of course, when we get close to the start of the season. But ultimately, I just think it's going to be a bit of a hangover from the player final. I think they will be more towards mid-table. And again, just like Rotherham, the points difference between 11th and 7th or 6th could be very, very slim indeed. So, yeah, they'll just miss out, I'm afraid. Into 10th spot, of course, Championship relegated side, also like Rotherham, it's Wycombe Wanderers. They are, of course, not going to have the quality to get back up there. I was quite surprised that they made it into the Championship in the first place. Of course, on that goals, on the points per game basis, that's how they got there. I think if that was to be played out, they wouldn't have made it. So they had their chance in the Championship. They were tremendous at the back end of it. That fighting spirit was good. I doubt you're going to get it in a whole season. I think they're going to be more mid-table again. I have them credibly in 10th, and just like Lincoln and Rotherham, unfortunately just outside that playoff bubble. But I think keeping hold of Ainsworth was good. Of course, Preston were the major attractors in that, and maybe Rovers, but again, that doesn't seem to be going anywhere. So I think Gareth Ainsworth is safe as houses at Wycombe's boss, and I think he'll do another good job, stellar job in top 10, but unfortunately not going to be good enough to get into the playoffs as well. Into 9th, I have Paul Cook's Ipswich Town. They might have a bit of money as well. Of course, Ed Sheeran FC. I have them in 9th. They actually finished in 9th last season, so it's a bit of a stalemate there. Nothing really developed, nothing really lost, nothing really gained. Again, I don't know why. Of course, it could be the site, the project. The project might be a bit too big to build right here, right now. I think they might need a season with Paul Cook. They might need a season with the new players to get things cooking. Because again, this division is tasty. It is fruity. There are some real big teams in there, and it hurts me to say that Ipswich aren't even in the top 6 because I wanted them to be in there. I want to see them back up there. And of course, if they were to get it right, they could be back, of course, in the Championship the following season. Of course, Norwich coming back down again. They could have the old East Anglia rivalry, which of course we've missed so greatly over the past few years. But again, Paul Cook, I think, is the right appointment, a right fit. He needs this season to bring the players. It ain't going to be an instant fit. He was with Wigan for a few years before it all clicked into place. Just give him, be patient. Season of transition here in 9th, a credible 9th. At least you're not down the bottom end. But of course, not good enough for Ipswich Town fans, I'm afraid. Into 7th, a bit of a surprise. I've got quite a few surprises here. Into 7th, I've gone with MK Dons. That's right, yes. Strong into the campaign, finishing in 13th last time around. Just the one defeat at the past 5. Of course, at the back end of the campaign, 65 points on the board. Again, they were looking very, very good at one point. Got a nice run together. They also had a very, very bad start. If they've now clicked into that gear and, of course, clicking into shape and, of course, playing the way the gaffer wants to play, they're going to be winning games. And, of course, they could be winning games quite comfortably. So I've got a feeling they're not going to make the playoffs. They're just going to shy, just miss. In fact, I've skipped one. I've skipped one into 7th. But I was so excited to say say it. We're going to go back to 8th in a minute. So yeah, 7th, I've got MK Dons. I just think they were looking very, very good. I think it's just going to be a little bit too shy from the playoffs for them. And again, the recruitment over the summer will be interesting to see what they get on with next time around. So into 8th, though, I've got Wigan Athletic. That's right, that is a bit of a surprise. Of course, they were season-on-season strugglers last time around. Of course, the past 2 seasons have been seasons of woe. Nothing to get excited about for Wigan. But they showed flashes of genius last time around. Of course, with the new takeover, their safety is secured. Of course, it'll be a big summer rebuild. It's not going to be big enough to get them in the playoffs this time around. Again, like Ipswich, a bit of a rebuild going on. Facelift, perhaps. And again, I think they'll be content with an 8th place finish. Of course, maybe even competing for those playoff spots over the course of the season, but just falling shy in the end. I think they will be a little bit gutted to be in 8th, but I think they'll take it. I think they'll take it and they'll move on to the next one. Into 6th, though, of course, this is the playoffs and it is a surprise. It's straight out of League 2, straight out of Compton, it's straight out of Bolton. That's right. Bolton Wanderers have got in there at 6. Wow, come out of nowhere. Of course, they were relegated with the points deduction. Of course, tremendous rise, not only into the playoffs, but and beyond into the automatics at the back end last season. Their confidence is high. The fans are high. The fans are excited. It's a crime that they were in League 2. They are now back in League 1. And I think they're going to have enough in the tank to make the momentum stick with them and rise once again into the playoffs. I think they're going to roll with it. I'm not saying they're getting promoted on the back of this one. I think they'll get up into 6th spot and they'll be in that discussion at the end of the season. Again, the recruitment, they're keeping a hold of the manager, keeping a hold of the key ingredients, of course, and they've been doing that already, securing some loanees or whatever from last season on permanent deals. So tremendous work being done at Bolton, but is it good enough to get into the, of course, promoted to the Championship? We'll have to wait and see. So into bloody 5th spot is Oxford United. That's right, season in, season out. Of course, regulars in the old playoffs, and I think they'll be in back again. Of course, Carl Robinson is the key man for this. Lose him, and guess what? You're going to be more mid-table obscurity, if not relegation candidates. So keeping a hold of Carl Robinson for you guys, it's a match made in heaven. Just keep him happy, keep him sweet. Just four wins at the past 5 games at the back end of the season. So unfortunately, they just dipped out as well in the playoffs, losing to who was it? It was Blackpool in the end. So yeah, again, they'll be thereabouts at the Kazam, and of course looking forward to those university clashes. Oxford, Cambridge next season. Into 4th spot is Atkins, Nigel Atkins. I laughed. I had a bit of a giggle when they hired him. I was worried that we would get him. Blackburn Rovers, of course. He seems to be an absolute fit for Charlton. They were a little bit hard done by at the back end of the season, unbeaten the last 4 games of the campaign, just to miss out on goal difference as well to Oxford in the playoffs. So I think they'll go one step beyond, back into the playoffs this time around, and I think they'll be in the discussion at the end of the season. Again, Atkins was on a short-term hire, maybe. Of course, now is probably extended for another season. New owners, maybe a bit of investment in the summer, and again, they'll go again improved as well. So into 3rd spot. Every time I look at this now, I'm regretting it. I might open up the door in my late predictions, but I've got on Portsmouth on this one into 3rd spot. That's right. Of course, the Cowleys are there. Usually that's supposed to mean something, but right now I don't think the Cowleys mean anything right now. They did okay with Lincoln. They didn't do very well with Huddersfield, and they haven't done so far very well with Portsmouth. So this might be something that I'm going to have to change as the season comes around, unless things go on. Of course, Rovers have got a fine eye on a couple of their players as well. So we'll see if that develops. And of course, if they keep Ronan Curtis, that is goals, that's assists, that's creativity. And of course, losing that will probably detract from Portsmouth's attractiveness in this prediction mould. So right here, right now, I've got them in 3rd with the Cowleys. That name, those names, the brothers, it's kind of losing appeal here. It's not the Nevilles, is it? It just feels a little cheap at the moment. They need a season to show that the Cowleys do mean something. And of course, they're not living on their Lincoln successes of quite a few years ago now. It's been a while since those successes. So let's see what you're made of. I've got you in 3rd. Prove it. Into 2nd spot now, we have Sheffield Wednesday. That's right. Darren Moore's boys. Of course, Darren Moore's Doncaster did tremendous before he left. And of course, Darren Moore's boys did beat Blackburn Rovers in the League Cup, in the FA Cup last season as well. So Darren Moore knows what he wants. Of course, he was livid with the old COVID issues last time around. Couldn't really get the Owls out of it. And of course, that points deduction, even though it was halved, was the ultimate kick in the bollocks for them. Lastminute.com woe, ultimately relegated on the final day as well. So a little bit harsh for them. I think they're going to bounce back at the first attempt. Of course, hopefully there's no more EFL harsh penalties for them to navigate. And I think they'll do it A-OK. And then finally, into top spot, of course, I've avoided doing this for years. I've been avoiding doing it for years. I just didn't think it was ready. I don't think it was the time. But the time is now. Of course, it's Sunderland to get promoted. I've never tipped them to get promoted. I've always tipped them to be in the playoffs. But now I see this. I think Lee Johnson, I know that the Mackham fans, or the Mackhams, or whatever, the Sunderland fans, they have got a bit of an angst against him at the moment. Give him a bloody full season. That's what irks me. It's what irks me with Leeds. It's what irks me with Sunderland. It's what irks me with biggish fan-based teams. They want instant success. They want everything to go their way. That's why I'm a little bit annoyed, and I usually think, you know what, let's keep him down here for another season. Let's keep him down. But I think Lee Johnson is the right fit, as long as he gets the backing. New owner, Lee Johnson, two youngish kind of guys. Hopefully they can get their heads together and, of course, rebuild Sunderland from the core. And, of course, they'll get it right this time. Of course, keeping hold of Charlie Wyke will, of course, will do them wonders as well. So, yes, I do see it. I do see Sunderland getting promoted as champions this time around in a very, very difficult League One campaign. So that's it, my friends. That is it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash your thumbs up. But if you're new, smash your subscribe and keep me bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, League One related. Where the heck am I related? We're going to all here under one Rooski. Check out the links as well. I'm on the old Discord as well as Patreon. If you want to support Shannon in a way, check that out. And also give me your picks down below. What you think will happen in League One next season. Let me hear it. Let me hear you, or whatever she says. But that's it. That's it, boys and girls. We'll do League Two once we know. Of course, we're going to wait for the outcome of the National League. Flugel, Flokowitz, whatever goes on there. But that's it, my boys. I'm back. I'm home. But I'm straight back to work tomorrow. So I'll see you soon. Until then, I am out.